Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Garden Fork Radio. Thanks for downloading the show. My name is Eric. I am your host. Garden Fork Radio is the eclectic DIY. It's whatever I think you might be interested in. I like to talk about. I have my friends on the show. Today, it's just me with my own thoughts, which could be really bad. I wanted to talk about journaling and then riff from there. But first, I have a new computer desk that I'm putting together. It's together. I'm actually sitting at it right now. I need to fine tune it, and then I will make a video about what I did. I didn't really want to make a video about watching me build a computer desk, but suffice to say, I drilled holes everywhere to run cables. I'm just trying to eliminate the amount of junk that's on actually the tabletop surface, and I am mildly successful. I don't know what that was. Was that something? Oh, that was my robot vacuum, which happens to be plugged in right next to my computer here. Anyway, yeah, there you go. I've talked about journaling before, and I haven't really touched on it in a while. My method is wicked simple. I open my laptop, I have the Apple Notes app, and I have a note that says journal, and it has its own password, which I think is important. And then I just start typing. It's a brain dump for me. And I just write the date and then whatever comes into my head. I write it at home sometimes when I go down to one of the coffee places. Since I work from home, I have to get out of the house, and sometimes you get there and you're like, oh, I can't get any work done here. I'm like, oh, you could tap into your journal. So I just use the laptop. If you have an iPad, you can get a add-on keyboard for an iPad, and it's built into the cover. You know, when you close up your iPad and you drop it, drop protection kind of cover. Belkin makes a really nice one. I will link to that in the show notes because I actually have that for my second iPad. You can type into it. But yeah, well, then of course, since I'm a big YouTube watcher, the algorithm every once in a while works, and they suggested that I check out a channel called Henry Did It. All one word, Henry Did It. And it's a small channel, not a lot of views, but then sometimes views don't really count for a lot. And what I liked about this video was it just was writing about journaling, and it was really simple. So I'm just going to read some notes that I made. What I was like, I just got kind of excited about it. I mean, his story I really like. He just talks about how he came to journaling and his frustrations with it, The title of it is, If Journaling Has Never Worked for You, Watch This. And it's a good thumbnail. It's a good title. And it's got some good views on it. His journaling ones actually have a lot higher views than the rest of his videos. It's a little bit like Austin Kleon, who wrote several books. One of them is Steal Like an Artist. He has a really good Substack newsletter. I get the free one, and every Tuesday he sends out one about 10 things. They could be all over the place, 10 things, but they're usually 10 things worth checking out. You might find some of them interesting. I don't know. So basically, Henry started out writing about 3 things that he's grateful for at the end of the day I think he wrote it into his phone at night. And that got a little old for him. And he also found that after writing in his things he's grateful for on the phone, he would start looking at the phone and doing the doom scrolling thing. So he moved to paper and pen. And I've often thought about writing at paper and pen, but I found that I can't write as fast as my thoughts come out of my brain. So I really prefer typing. And since I don't have a typewriter in bed, I don't journal in bed. I usually journal when I sit down to the computer or I'm at the kitchen island and my laptop is right there. I just flip open the laptop and start doing a brain dump. And there's all sorts of people out there that will tell you how to journal. And I believe this, and Henry believes this, that you have to find your own way. Mine is just a brain dump. Yours might be a bulleted list prompting you with questions. I mean, it's just people are all different, you know. What Henry did after starting a journal for writing, he found that the writing got kind of boring. So he went to the stationery store. You can also go to the art supply store. And he tested out some pens. He bought a nice pen that he liked. And then he found a notebook that he liked. You know, does the pen flow nicely across the paper? That might actually be my problem, is the paper and the pen. I just use whatever pen is laying around, you know? So just some stuff. I also like, he uses the word, for journaling, he uses the word daily-ish. He writes daily-ish. It's not like you're forced to write every day. And there are no hard rules. So like I said in the beginning, just start, you know? And I just kind of like, it usually ends up being one or two, sometimes three things that I want to write a short paragraph about. And then a lot of times I'm like, there's no more coming out of my brain. So yeah, I'm done. I'm not done with the podcast. I'm just done talking about journaling. Can you hear the paper? I've got and I did the last podcast with Nicole and I thought my microphone had broke. So I pulled out my backup microphone, which sounded just fine. But I plugged I tested all my cables. They're called XLR cables. And this is a PodMic, PODMIC. I'm blanking on the brand, but it's a nice microphone. And now I've got it on a little, you know, those lights you can clamp on your desk and it has a little light on the end and two little articulated arms. I wanted to buy a fancy one and they were like $40. And then I went through, I have several boxes of computer junk and I found the original one that I had bought. And I'm like, well, I just clamped it to the side of the desk here and it reaches across. And yeah, it works. So use what you got, right? I wonder if you get the Garden Fork email newsletter. It's actually, I put out two of them now. It's kind of like whenever there's a new video or a new podcast out, I put out an email talking about that. And then invariably I go on some tangent, which I actually kind of like. And then each email has a picture of the dogs. I took a really nice picture this morning. We were at Prospect Park. Andy's swimming. And Spiker, she sometimes swims. Mainly she just kind of, her paws are wet. She just kind of walks back and forth. And she's very social. She says hello to the other dogs. And then I have a second one called Cool Stuff, sharing kind of stuff like this. Like this video that it's called Henry Did It. Sometimes it's a blog post. Sometimes it's a newsletter. Sometimes it's a video. That kind of thing. I actually like to read quite a few Substack newsletters, but I am not on Substack myself, and I don't think I will be because I don't like the feel there. I think that they kind of have a lot of control over you, and at the moment, from what my understanding is, their policy on affiliate links is a little iffy, and I do have Amazon affiliate links and sometimes affiliate links to other companies as well. So I'm on, what am I on now? I use MailerLite. I think I'm going to move to Ghost. Eric's been talking about this for a while, hasn't he? But speaking of newsletters, I got a new one. There's a news digest I get called the 1440 Daily Digest, and it's very neutral, which I really appreciate. And it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 15, more actually, they've expanded. But they have Need to Know section, and then In the Know, Sports, Entertainment and Culture, Science and Technology, Business and Markets, Politics and World Affairs, and then In Depth. A lot of times this is a long read or a podcast, and I like that. And then the etc. is not really clickbait, but like Brazilian nun shows off beatboxing skills on Catholic television. Why Gen Z hates the smiley face. Yeah, what's with that, you know? So, and then there's always a quote at the bottom, and we can have faith in the future only if we have faith in ourselves. Yeah, so I like that it's very unbiased. I don't know if that's actually possible completely, but it does talk about, what I call the kind of not real pleasant world we're living in right now. And if you want to sign up, let's see, we're sign up here. I'm going to click on that and see what that says. So go to join1440.com. Join, like I'm going to join a club, join1440.com. Yeah, and then as a follow-up to this, they sent me another email that they've just started called Get 1% Better. And I'm all about, this folds very well into 1% to infinity, or the tiny steps kind of thing. If you do 1% of a project over 100 days, after 100 days, you'll be done. And so it doesn't seem as overwhelming, like I got to read this thick book to get better. So it has news, and it's called the 1% Better's Unbiased, No Fluff News and Lifestyles Tips. So how is this different than 1440 then? Anyway, there's in the middle is called Live Better and Love Better. And I'll just read the one paragraph that I like here. How to get mentors to respond. What's the secret to getting mentors to actually help you? For years, Lewis Howes sent the same desperate LinkedIn message. Hey, I'm broke. Can you give me some advice? And then radio silence. Then he discovered why successful people were ignoring him. He was making it all about his problems. The shift was subtle but powerful. Instead of begging for help, he became a student of their stories. He'd research someone's career, find that moment where they overcame a major obstacle, and reached out with genuine curiosity. Here's a quote. It's really interesting how you came over this challenge in your career. I would really love to hear about your mindset you had when you were facing that challenge and how you got there. And then people started responding to him. So yeah, good for that. Stop leading with your needs, start leading with their wins. This can transform you. Lewis now hosts the School of Greatness podcast. I haven't listened to it. I did read some of the titles to it. A little clickbaity, I think, like the 3 things you need to know about blah, 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 or the one trick you need, the one major thing. And I don't know if that's clickbait or not, but I don't like those kind of titles. I don't like, this kind of FOMO kind of thing that can start. But I haven't listened to the podcast either, so the content may be fantastic. I want to simplify my email. I've talked to some of you about this before. I want to find an email address for my personal work that is wicked simple to be able to recite to somebody, and it will be a Gmail address. I'm basically kind of planning for the future as I get older. I'm not going to be able to, right now I have a shared server with Bluehost, and I pay them, it's $100 a year, $120 a year to maintain a little site I have plus some email addresses. As I get older, I'm probably going to forget to make that payment, or I'm going to change debit cards, and then that gets canceled and I lose my email address. So starting now, I want to have a Gmail address to use for personal work. And I'm fine with that. I know they're going to, take information from that, but it's there and it's not going away. So I was wanting to ask you guys, I want it to be eric.something.something. Because evidently in the Google email world, people are used to going, word.word.word. And are there 2 words I can use that are easy to spell and won't get confused with another word? So when I walk up to the desk at a healthcare provider and they want my email address, I can say like Eric Paper Rock at Gmail. That might be really good. And then they will know that. So if you have some suggestions, because when you type in, I've typed in different words and they're all taken. So that's a little weird. Or you could have numbers, but it seems like every number I type in, it's been used already. So do I have to go to like 6 digits? I don't know if I can remember 6 digits. So eric.word.word, easy to hear, easy to write down, maybe even easy to remember. But mainly, like, I ordered a book this morning. It's Austin Kleon's Steal Like an Artist. I wanted a physical copy of it this time. So I went down to my local bookstore and asked if they had it. And they said, we sometimes do, but not right now. Would you like to order it? I said yes, because I'm all about supporting my local bookstore. You can support bookstores through bookshop.org, by the way. If you don't have a bookstore near you, but you want to order from an independent bookstore, you can go to Bookshop, type in your zip code, and they will show you local bookstores near you, and then you can go click on that. And then if you order books, you can order it through them, through Bookshop, and everyone makes a little bit of money, the bookstore and Bookshop, instead of going to one of the big online companies. Did that make sense? Maybe not. Anyway, I'm at the bookstore and they said, oh, well, what's your email address? And I was like, oh, which one do I give them? And I haven't figured out a Gmail address I want to do for my personal email yet. So I gave them my Garden Fork address. But even that is like, they're like, how do you spell Garden Fork? And so I just it got me even thinking even more, what's an easy eric.what.blank.blank. And if you have any thoughts on that, I would love that. It's radio@gardenfork.tv, radio@gardenfork.tv. That might even change, actually. Changing the Garden Fork. I can redirect the Garden Fork URL for email to Google, but you have to pay for it, which I'm fine with. But when, like in 20 years, am I going to remember to pay for it? I have to figure out what to do about that. Anyway, just Eric's other thought. All right, the last thing is smoked paprika. The short story is a little bit goes a really long way. I was making this kind of confit curry thing I got from Otto Lenge's, one of his new books, which escapes me now. Shelf Talk, Shelf Stable. It's got an orange cover. He has 2 of them out now. Shelf Love, it's called. And it's got a container of cherry tomatoes, chickpeas, some spices, and then a half a cup of olive oil, which makes it kind of rich, but it's really good. And you don't need to eat it every day. And then I wanted to double that. And in the recipe, it calls for Himalayan chili powder. And in the notes, it says you can use paprika instead. And I had smoked paprika, so I put that in. And as I was putting it in, I'm like, the last time I did this, the smoked paprika made it taste really bad. And I put like a teaspoon in. And then I tasted it. I always wait, I mix it up and taste it a little bit. And the smoked paprika flavor was overwhelming. I was like, okay, my friends are coming over. And this tastes good, but it tastes kind of like barbecue curry, which might be weird or might be good, but I didn't want it to be that. So I used the internet, and several sites have things about what happens if I put too much smoked paprika. And the one that made the most sense to me was to add, and I had these ingredients, is powdered garlic and cumin. Cumin is more citrusy. Powdered garlic is kind of an opposite as far as an aromatic. And it worked. It really dialed back the smoked paprika. So that was kind of fun. Yeah. What do you do when you overspice or you put too much of a thing in? Is there something to do about that? Let me know. I think that's it. Yeah, those are my ideas. I actually Apple Notes is how I run my world. So those are the things I had in here to talk about today. If you are a patron, this week's show is me. I'm walking to the subway, running some errands, and I brought you along. It's kind of a soundscape with me kind of narrating the world of Eric.
This is Atlantic Avenue Arcade Center.
Transfer is available to the BDNQR trains. Connection is available to the Long Island Railroad.
This is an accessible station. The elevator is at the front and center of the platform.
Hey everyone. I'm on my way to check on the bees, but I'm also going to Best Buy to drop off more electronics recycling. I'm going to go to the Best Buy, which is on the way. Just wanted to follow up. I'm going to Best Buy to drop off more electronics to recycle. I brought 7 hard drives, and they didn't blink. Once again, I walked in the front of the store. The same guy was there at the front of the store, the greeter guy, and he said the same thing again. There's this metal table, kind of beat up cart thing, and he goes, yeah, just put them right there. And someone already had several cell phones they put down there. Someone else put a laptop down there. And I got to empty one of my plastic storage containers, which is fabulous. I don't know if you can know that, but Spiker just came in the living room here, and she is eating a big carrot. We give them carrots a lot, once a day usually, just give them something to do. All right, let me know your thoughts. If you're interested in becoming a patron, the information is down below. And what do you think of my simple email address, radio@gardenfork.tv? Go out and do cool stuff and make it a great day. I'll see you. Thank you. Garden Fork Radio is produced by Garden Fork Media LLC in Brooklyn, New York. The music in the show is licensed from audioblocks.com and uniquetracks.com.